some great shit on it.
Yeah.
Some really great shit, and it's all free. So, I don't know why my internet's so bad. What is going on?
Oh, Michael. Hey.
Right, I can stop streaming.
It's in the window.
Stop streaming. All right, twice.
I was going to say you're early,
There we go.
but you're not.
Oh, that's great.
Class yet.
So yeah, you can also share to these if you make your own mouse, which you haven't done yet. That's using Substance Designer. Does anyone have that downloaded?
Yes.
Yeah?
I do.
Yeah? Okay.
Was it one of the...
Do you actually, what? There you go. Alright, so Substance Designer is used to create materials. Substance Painter, you use those materials and you paint them on stuff, right? But to create the actual base material itself, you gotta use Substance Designer. Coolio? Coolio my bobs. Coolio my bibs. Bada bobs. Bada boom. Okay, bada bing, bada boom. Alright, so you remember the bitmap to material thing we did before? Where we had like we had a picture and then we made like the normal map and the occlusion map and all that stuff out of one picture. Do you remember? Using that bitmap to material thingy? Okay, so those are the maps, but we can use all those maps to also make a material. And that's just using Substance Designer. It's very easy. We'll do that maybe the last class. So yeah, here there are brushes, obviously, and images and materials and meshes and shaders and stuff. So like the most important one for ye is probably materials and smart materials. So if you go into them, you can also search, but if you go into them, you can just have a look and see like, cool, there's all this stuff for free. What?
These ones have the same limit on how many you can download.
No. So that's the thing at the start. The free exchange platform. It's like randos making it basically. Like I have a material on here somewhere. That's really dumb. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah. So like, if you want any of them, you can look at them and then you can go like download and always have a look at the comments, because sometimes the comments might say like, oh, it doesn't look the same, or it is, try this thing if it's not working for you or whatever. So just have a look at the comments. They have very nicely organized them into like settings and stuff. Not settings, fucking headings. So if I go leather, you see all the leather. Like, look at that. Got a leather couch. Alright, and then you can just like use that if you want it for your model. So, and usually they make you, when you upload a material, they make you show some examples. So like people can look through it and go like, oh, that's cool. Alright. So very, very handy, this one, in case you're stuck looking for a material and you can't find the substance source or you can't figure it out. This stuff, I've literally never been stuck for material, I don't think. Unless it's very specific. Like with any generic material, they're usually here. So yeah, Substance, share. And it works into Substance Painter, same thing, you download it and then you drag it in and set it to a material. Philip Ups? Okay, so you all wanted to talk to me about cloth, yeah? Okay. Okay, it's gonna be recorded.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go through it. You don't have to follow me.
Yeah.
Because I want to just get it done quickly. But yeah. Okay. It requires physics simulation essentially.
Will I have to do that?
What?
Will I have
Oh no.
It's just you press the button and like.
Pretty much, yeah.
I need to
But you gotta press the button right to take it.
Yeah,
If you don't press the button right,
See, I need to wrap around and snap it so.
oh well, that's your problem though, isn't it?
but you're like soaked, bro.
Probably make it as a cloth thing first and then FFE it around or something. Or make a path around and make it deform to the path. One or the other might work. But let me just show you the cloth thing in the first place. Like there's two ways. You could like cheese it and just go like a really long strip and just put a cloth material on it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't actually wrinkle, it just looks wrinkly. That's the easiest way. But let me show you like actual cloth now, because some people may need it. That is just like ridiculously light. Alright. Okay, so I have, can you all see that correct? Okay. Maybe I should change color of this one. Is that better? Alright, so I have like a block and I have this thing that I want to be a cloth. Now the first problem, I want it to like flop around on the block as if it's like, you know, like I'm dropping a cloth on it. Do you see a problem straight away? If you can. If I was going to make this like bend like cloth and shit like that. I have nowhere near enough segments. It can only bend like in 4 different points. So if I cloth it, it'll just go like that. Won't look good. So that's one problem with cloth. I do need to have quite a few segments. I'm gonna do like, I'm saying 40 by 40? That's way too many. 30 by 30? That's okay. It's a lot, but like sure, we'll see. Alright, I'm just gonna make this look cooler, so I'm just gonna edit poly this and just make like a little bit sticking up so the cloth can wrap over it so you can see for sure what it does rather than it just drapes. So inset that and I'll extrude that and I'll just move that over there. So the cloth should just go like over it, hopefully. Okay, cool. That is done. So what I need to do, and hopefully I remember this correctly, I have the plane there, so I'm going to make sure it's above it. So look at it from the side. Yeah, it's above. And it's on top. Yeah, cool. Alright. And let me just rotate it like that so it kind of drapes sideways. So, I need to add a cloth modifier. Cloth. And there's a cloth modifier. Sweet. And what the cloth modifier does is simulates cloth. But it's not as simple as this. Like if I simulate local, it doesn't do anything yet because it doesn't know what's cloth and what's not cloth or whatever it is. The cloth modifier by itself doesn't change that thing to cloth. It's kind of silly, but sure. If I go to object properties though, I can like plane URA cloth because it was inactive. And it's got like default cloth settings, and these are all the feckin' settings for it. And if you open up the presets, there's a bunch of different like default settings for different types of cloth. I'm just going to leave it as default for now. And I also need to add objects because I need to add this yoke to collide with. So I'm going to add objects and add. Oh, it's because I have it hidden. Where is it? There we go. Box 001. Add. And the box is going to be a collision object. So the cloth will collide with the collision object. Okay. So the plane here is cloth. The box there is the collision object. You can change the depth is like how deep like how far it's going to start affecting it before it actually touches. And then the friction is like how much friction. So the cloth is to slide off. But like I'm going to leave them default for now. If there's a problem, I can go back and fix it later. There's also this cloth thing. If you want it to like, if it's like a blade or something, you want the cloth to like snap in half or whatever. All right. So okay. So now if I hit simulate locally, oh my god, why did I put it so high?
Play up his music.
Okay, where is it? What is it called? 21st space Oz music. It could be fitted. No, it's nowhere near. What is this? That's really good. There we go. I actually realized this might destroy my video because that's copyrighted music. So you can turn off simulation at any time. You can stop it just by turning off simulate local, and there we go. I've got it. It like looks pretty good. As Robin said, it's clipping a little, but that's easy to fix. So like, how do I reset again? Let's reset. I know, I'm gonna put it down a bit, like hopefully that is okay. There we go. And I can fix that by going to the object properties, going to the box Savioni, and I'll add more of the offset, like I just have it a bit more offset and a bit more depth, and hopefully that should fix it. Select local. Oh no! No! Why? I can pause I'll pause the microphone, and hopefully that'll be okay.
You don't copyright the flavor. Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah, if you just go like
Never worked for me.
it's very flavor.
Really? It hasn't even started. There we go. Yeah, actually, yeah. But you see what I mean? It kind of, it now offsets a bit more. And then now we have other problems because like this clipping here, which we probably will need to fix by, oh, cancel. We probably need to fix by, effect off. Why do they always message me at this time?
Put your volume to your speaker and record it.
Oh yeah, good shout. I think it was on, wasn't it? Yeah, no, it wasn't. Cool. Alright, cool. So you need to probably fix that by changing the cloth properties itself. Okay, do you later. Change the cloth properties itself, basically. Alright, but anyway, that is cloth, and that works. You can see obviously there's problems here because I don't have enough vertices, and obviously if I have more vertices it works. But even with this, it's only like 30 by 30. It looks pretty clothy, like looks pretty good. Clothy, yeah, that's the correct word. So that is basic cloth, which needs a collision object. Now, if I want to hang cloth to like hang it from something, I need something to hang from. So we just, why isn't it disclosing? Why is it rendering all the time? No, why are you doing that? No. There we go. Okay. I guess if I simulation on and keep simulating. Alright, so when I'm finished though, I can't just export this, by the way. I need to convert this to editable poly. So edit poly. Damn it. And now I can export that. So I need to make sure it's an edit poly, otherwise it'll reset the simulation. So if I do that now, I can bring that into Unity or whatever. But then it acts like a normal polygon. It just looks like cloth, but it acts like a normal one. Let me do a curtain thingy. It's rock solid right now, yeah. There is a cloth modifier in. That's just mean, like she just can't help it. I know it's like a little like Fraggle Rock character or something, but it's not funny. It is a bit, but that's just me.
I feel for you and I love you dearly. Oh, your voice is so funny.
Okay, so yes, it is completely solid. Like it basically acts like any other object. In Unity, there is a cloth thing you can add a cloth component. I haven't used it in yonks, so I don't know if it's good now, but it used to be very buggy. Maybe it works fine now. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to do a curtain. So let me. Why does it make colors that you can't see the mesh? Okay. So I want to simulate this, but if I simulate right now, it's just going to fall. It's just going to go because it's not attached to anything. So let me add the cloth modifier. Cool. And object properties, and I'm going to be like, you are a cloth, job done. And if I simulate, it'll just fall. It doesn't do anything, right? Reset state. Cool. So what I do need to do is I need to link it to something. So I'm going to link the cloth, bits of the cloth to this box here. So it's like, you know, it's like a rail that it's hanging from. And I'm also going to link it to down the middle here so that I can bunch it up. You know, like, you know, when you have a curtain and you bunch the middle and put it up. So I'm going to try and do that. So let's see. So go to cloth. I do not fully remember this. It's group, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, I need to make a group. So you see when it's grouped, it's gone to all the vertices. I don't know if you can see. I can now select individual vertices. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to select all of these up here. So these are all the vertices in the line. They're invisible. Let me just make these transparent so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, groupie bobs. Make a group. Oh shit. Yeah, I'm selecting them. It's fine. So make a group. Top of curtain. Okay, coolio. So the group is here now, and I can click on it. So it says unassigned. So I can assign it. I can like go node to this yoke, and now it's noded to these box. So all of these are gonna like be linked to that box. Is that cool? Then I'll do the same for here. So grab all of these, make a group made of curtain, and node them to yoke bob. Job done. And go back to cloth. Hopefully, if I simulate local now, all right. You see the way they're kind of like stretching, but they're being held in place. See that? All right. Now the awesome thing, if I do this right, I should be able to grab the box and squish it. And the same with this one. It does wreck your computer, as you can hear. And it just takes a little while to simulate. Give it a chance to calm down. And basically I have curtain. Now when I finish, edit poly it, stop the simulation, edit poly it, and I have pretty decent looking curtain. Alright? What? That's pretty. I know because I made it.
You could make gowns.
I was gonna say,
You can make loads of stuff with this, like, so that is cloth.
We
What?
get to make our character next semester and make a princess.
How are you gonna animate cloth?
We're fucking right, everyone. Thompson!
You can try.
can't do like it's the same way with the grouping mechanism. I know that
You can add bones to it, or you can do it in Unity with the cloth mod component. Hope it works, but there's ways around it. Especially if you're simpler cloth, if you're a low poly model, people will expect the cloth to be flowing. Like as long as it's moving, they're kind of like, okay, that's cool. So there's different ways around it. By the way, that's cloth. Look at it, it's so pretty. Actually looks quite good. So, and that's only 30 by 30. So that's only 100 polygons for that. So it's not the worst slide.
Yeah, 30 by 30.
Sorry, 1,000 polygons. 30 by 30 is 90, right? 900. Yeah, so 1,000. But still, 1,000 is a lot, but it's not a huge amount. So it looks nice anyway. We're coming out in video now. Alright, cool. So that is cloth. Huh? Oh, good question. Unwrap it before you do this. So unwrap it while it's still a plane.
Yeah.
Because that's what real cloth does. Like when you have a real cloth, you unwrap it before you even go to this. Right? Cool. You can also use this, by the way, for actual clothes.
Yeah.
When we get a character design, we can talk about that if someone's being crazy enough to do actual clothes. But basically what you can do is like, have you ever seen clothes templates? So like if I...
That's like our documents and clothes.
Have you ever seen clothes? Let me just do a t-shirt one. Not this. So... Alright, so like this. So you know the way they're like the bits of the t-shirt separated out, like that's kind of how they look like. That's the t-shirt side, and then this is the sleeve that wraps around. So you can kind of do that with this cloth modifier, and you can add seams so they like link together. So you would literally model looking like this, and then the model will be in a t-shirt pose. You put all the pieces there, and you kind of wrap it around using the cloth modifier. There's a thing called seams that pulls the seams together. Alright, that would be one way. And then there's another program called Marvelous Designer that it's specifically built for cloth, and it's amazing. Like, it works really well. You can do it in Max, it's not nearly as good, but Marvelous Designer is really good. But it's a separate program. So that's one of the things with 3D programs in general. As you all are kind of finding, if you're a 3D artist, you bought between like 4 or 5 different programs. You get used to it. Like I got so angry at the start when I first started. You do get used to it though. So it's just something you got to live with, because there's different programs that do specific things better than other programs. So it's just the way it is, just the way the cookie crumbles. All right, so I'm gonna close that, and I'm gonna go to Muddybox. My tablet's not working. Oh, it is sometimes. Oh, it's doing a weird thing. What's that doing? It only moves when I click. Oh, it's working now. No, it doesn't. Huh? Ideally, you should. For today, we're just learning, which is not. It's not the worst, like, but this is annoying as all get out. All right. Anyway, so this is the mud box. There is a bunch of like basic models that it comes with, and these are just like rando basic models that you can go into. I'm just going to use this here for now. All right.
Yeah, T-Rex was way.
Oh my God. Okay, if you all want to start with a freaking dinosaur, good luck. Okay, it's not gonna look good, but fine. All right, so in Mudbox, oh, it has. Oh,
What?
did they set it to go to 3ds Max movements?
You can, Jane.
No, you can, but I've not touched this, so unless it took my preferences from before, maybe it did. Either way, you can go to where is it again? It's one of these.
Wait, no, because I've opened it before in the setting, like the controlling movie bits.
Was it like 3ds Max?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because I have not opened this. So.
That's crazy.
So they must have changed. That's great. Photoshop changed. You know what? They changed Photoshop. It's very confusing now. So one of the biggest things, it wrecked my head. When you resize now, it's actually really good. So when you resize, remember you had to hold shift to make sure it doesn't stretch. Now you hold shift to stretch it, and you don't hold shift to keep it the same. Basically, because a lot of people were just going like, just right. It makes sense. I was just real confusing. Yeah, that's the thing. I got it right. Anyway, where is it? Windows hotkeys. Apparently, hotkeys are Windows. Come on. No, I am using 3ds Max. So you can use keyboard shortcuts from all these programs, and mine's on 3ds Max. Windows hotkeys. So if you do Windows hotkeys, it should work like 3ds Max. I think working like Mudbox is the closest to Substance Painter, I think. Can't remember. Either way. So I just want to show you this program, and hopefully this is a high poly sculpting program. Okay, so there's two ways to make models. One is you do what we've been doing, which is the low poly way. You just work on each polygon individually. The other way, which for organic characters and stuff that's a bit more like less perfect, let's say, if you want it to be a bit more free-forming, you go this way, which is you go high poly and then you low polyify it later. Okay, so you sculpt it first with millions of polygons, hundreds of thousands to millions of polygons. Make sure the details look right, and then you do something called retopology, which converts it to low poly. So let me just see if I can find a picture of retopology.
That's what you configure. What's it from the Moana?
I don't even know if I retopologized. I think I did, yeah. Yeah, but basically, yeah. I sculpted the face with very high polygon count, got it to the shape I wanted, retopologized. I don't remember if I retopologized or not, but if I did, that's what I did. So images, like that kind of way. So like this is super high poly, and then you make a very low poly that kind of follows the same shape, and you do something called projection. There's a lot of things called projection in 3D modeling, but you project the details of the high poly onto the low poly as a normal map. So then the low poly will look like this. Low poly obviously doesn't look like that, but if you project that onto this, it projects the details and it stays as, it looks more or less the same. If you look at it and turn it around and look at it, you can see where the seams are screwed up, but when you look at it quickly, you don't. Anyone play like, for any game really, it's not just, but it's, for me, it's very obvious in Overwatch. If you drop the quality settings from high to like low, really low, and you look at the models, at first glance, when you look at them, they don't look very different. But when you really look at like the bits and pieces, you can see there's like little bits of seam problems. Do you know what? Let's see if I can show you that now. Because for me, it was very evident in Overwatch. Let's see. I don't know if we can try it here. But we'll see. Say what?
like cosplay battle. I haven't even.
Cosplay battle. Oh, it's not gonna let me get in because of the Wi-Fi. Oh, it's not gonna let me get in. Spice. Okay. Maybe Overwatch. This is low. What is it? Quality settings. Okay. Hopefully this is high enough. I only care about the heroes really. Oh, did I? Fuck's sake. Nah. Is there a split by split? No, I can't really tell from here though. It's a lot more evident on the heroes. Just looking at things. Are you kidding me? You see it from here? It's like a stair, like. No, that's not useful. Either way, is that it? There we go. That's a character. Come on, yeah. Go on. You see that? Like, it's very hard to see here, especially on the screen. You can see this is a bit blurrier, right? And like, but that's the texture quality rather than like the actual model. I'm trying to see one where it'd be great if you could get a wireframe. Either way, when you see it, you'll see like at a higher quality setting, it'll model the actual piece. At a lower quality setting, it's almost like a smoother, cheaper version of that piece, and the texture stretches onto it, right? Or you can kind of see it. You can't really see it on these pictures, to be honest. It's very sad. No, you can't really see it. Like, it's not great. But just try it on any game, to be honest. Especially a game where you can swap really quickly between them. You'll see that like the low poly version has the same textures, but it's like on a lower poly, shittier mesh. So the textures look a bit stretched and stuff. Right? So that's kind of what retopology is. Every game does a bit of retopology. Every game. Because we can't. This is like, I have no idea what this is, but this is probably like 500k or something. Huh? Oh no, I mean like how many polys it is. It's probably like, I don't know what it is, 100k, 500k, whatever it is. Like this, for example, that's 8 million polys, and then this is.
How is that even possible? What computer can make that much?
A wood computer, not yours.
What?
A good computer.
Alright, done.
It's fair though. So yeah, you would.
Polys in 3ds Max would be like 100 times more stressful, right?
So 3ds Max is actually pretty good at handling the polys. And polys are actually not that bad until you start making them do shit.
Yeah.
So where the polys start to hurt performance-wise is when you're rendering them. So like, you know the way when we put on the materials in Substance and we're adding like the normal map and the diffuse map, these are all different rendering, like, you know, stages basically. So when you're looking at Max, it's just showing you polygons only. And it is going to have a problem with 8 million, but it's just not as bad. When you look at Unity, Unity's got to show you the lighting, it's got to show you the model, it's going to show you the poly, it's going to show you all the different maps for each polygon, and it's going to run whatever crap you have running in the background as well. So yeah, that kills it. There's a story from Deus Ex, like Human Revolution, where they had interns working and everything like that, and they had this one room. So it was a conference room, but when you went in there, the frame rate dropped to like 5 FPS, and they couldn't figure out why. And it turned out whoever it is had modeled a chair and done the high poly version of the chair and hadn't retopologized it, so every chair was 2 million polys. And there was like a conference room full of chairs. And that's. So this is kind of a way to fix it. Like, one thing probably won't break your game, but a lot of these probably will. So you can see that the shape pretty much follows the same shape, and then you would do that projection thing so that that low poly version would look more or less with a normal map, sort of like the high poly. So it's close enough. Like, I will do that later on. Okay? Any questions on that so far? Clear. All right. So in the Muddy Box, Boop, boop. So first thing I would do is hit W, so you can see the wireframe. It just makes it easier to see how many polys you have. Okay, dokes. And you are using Mudbox, which is not the greatest high poly sculpting tool in the world. At least me personally, I prefer something called the ZBrush. It handles polygons way better. It is also really expensive. It's like €800 for a license.
Forever though?
For forever. For like when they say forever, it's literally forever.
On
So
any device I can read
not even that. It's just most companies, when you buy a license forever, you have that version forever. So like if you buy 2018, you have all the updates for 2018, but when 2019 comes out, you're like, you still have 2018, you can use it, but you don't get 2019.
That's actually so bad.
Yeah. So like most 3D artists who are freelancing, imagine the amount of programs you have to buy every year. You can claim it back in tax, but these are the programs that you have to buy. So like,
all that device?
I mean, it's part of your business expenses, yeah, because you need it to run your business, so. And your computer and stuff like that, but if you use it for work. Okay. So anyway, let me just turn this off right now. You can find it for free in certain places if y'all know where to look. ZBrush kind of knows that as well, I think, because it's super easy to crack. I think they're just like, look, students can't afford it, but they do want students to use it. It is pretty much industry standard. And I can do a class on ZBrush. I obviously can't record it, but I can do a class to show you what it can do. It's very, very good. It's very powerful. But Mudbox is actually that what?
Could record it.
Not on.
No, I ain't stupid.
What? No, you can just say this is
50 years from now, you're just like, I remember that fucking arsehole, man. It'll just like wreck its life. You know, release it. That'd be like Trump sex tapes. I don't know.
I didn't follow it.
Yeah, I know.
What did I think that?
Anyway, what I was going to say is, Mudbox is actually not bad at all, and I actually think it's better to learn on Mudbox because it's way easier interface to deal with than ZBrush. ZBrush has a horrendous interface, but once you know the basics of what things are doing in Mudbox, it's a lot easier to understand what ZBrush is doing. If that makes sense. If you jump straight to ZBrush, personally, I find it really confusing. It took me a while to get my head around it, but sure. Anyway, close this. So by default, it's that T-Rex thing, and it's not just T-Rex. You can import any model, so you can do like file import, and you import any FBX. So what a lot of people will do is, if I want to make a character or something, I'll make like a really crappy low poly version of it, import it into this, and then sculpt it in high poly, retopologize it, and now I have a nicer looking model. Okay, that kind of makes sense. All right, so by default, it's on the sculpt tools. Do not sculpt right now. Don't do it. Because there's a base layer here. That's your base layer, that's your model. It's like Photoshop, you can click on this to turn on and off. That's your base model. So as Photoshop, there are layers. So you don't want to fuck things up by working on your base layer. So you can add a sculpt layer. I'll show you what this does. So let's say I sculpt like that. That is only on that layer. Okay? So if I fuck up completely, I can delete that layer. And the thing is, I can also erase that layer. There's an erase here somewhere. Let's erase. There you go. So I can erase, like, if I don't want all of this, I can erase it all. And I don't have to smooth it to get it back down to the exact same place. I just erase it off, and I've erased off all the stuff that I've done. And it doesn't break the lower layer. Cool? That kind of makes sense? Alright, so there's a bunch of tools here. There's Sculpt, which if you click, it goes up. If you hold, is it Control or? Yeah, Control goes down. And if you hold Shift, it smooths them. Cool, yeah? Now what you also want to do is make sure you rotate when you're doing this, because it may look different, like, you know, now it looks it may look different depending on which side you're looking at. So again, Shift smooths it, Control goes down, and Click just goes up. Okay? So that's Sculpt. And then there's a bunch of others. Let me show you Pinch. So let's say this part here, if I want it to look sharper, like, you know, it's smooth right now, I can do a pinch. I can do it like that. And can you see it tightening it up? I don't know if you can see that. It's just kind of making it sharper on that side. Is that, can you see it? Oh, no. Yeah? Okay. So that's what pinch will do. There's grab, which is very good for like reposing your model or making like big changes. Now grab is a weird one. You need to have a really big brush size, and then you can like grab little bits and kind of, you know. do stuff like that. It's like a little. So if I wanted my T-Rex to be. Excuse you. You can also do a symmetry on this stuff. You what? All the settings for whatever brush you're choosing should be on the right hand side here. Same as in Substance, they should be here. There's a mirror, like a mirror like X. This is why your pivot point is so important, because if your pivot point's not directly in the center, it will make that X or Y or Z or whatever at your pivot point. So if your pivot point's off to the side, it's going to mirror from there. So make sure your pivot points are right. So anyway, X. And this way I can do both sides at once. Yay. Little tiny hand. Just make them smaller. Oh yeah, fair. So I can do this thing called bulge, or is it? Yeah, bulge. There you go. And then.
Oh, she's big.
Yeah. So you can kind of bulge bits, and obviously if you control, it goes smaller. See what? It's still mirrored, yeah. I can just turn it off anytime. It's off, and then there it's off. And then there's a bunch of others, but a lot of these won't do anything at this level because I don't have enough polygons. So let's say I wanted to make like a little eye here. Can't. I don't have enough polygons, so let me go back to sculpt. If I go back to sculpt and I try to like sculpt here, like it just looks like that. It's kind of shit. Can't really do anything. So I need more polygons. Now every layer has a locked polygon count. You see that 0 there? Here, beside it? That is polygon level 1. So it hasn't been subdivided yet. And what subdivision is it takes every polygon and divides it into 4. Where is it? So every time I subdivide, here's a polygon. Every single polygon, it goes, okay, let me split that polygon. And this is why quads are so important, because it's easier to split the quad into quads. Like when you have a try, Roblox can try to do it, but it doesn't do it that well. I think it fucks up. Quads are a lot easier. Like this, it tries to do some weird stuff like that. It's not really. But quad, it just goes split. So, and again, that's why quads are important. So, I don't like it. Alright, so if I go here, I need to subdivide, but because it says 0 here, this is locked to this layer. So whenever I subdivide, I'm going to add more polygons. I'll need to make a new layer, because every layer is locked to that amount of polygons. Okay? 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 Okay. So to subdivide, and you'll see this will get a little like red thing will appear. It'll be like, no, you can't work in this layer anymore. Shift D will subdivide. Yeah, boy. You see it's gone red? Because that was locked to the 0 layer. And I'm now on layer 1. Every time I shift D, it tells me. It's like level 2 and tells me how many polygons I have. Let me go up to level 3. I've got now 115,000 polygons. I make a new layer, and this will be the layer at which I'm working on 115,000. So if I zoom in, now I should be able to draw like a nice little eye. It's much nicer. Yeah, I don't have pressure sensitivity. This is why you need the tablet for this, because you can control pressure. I can literally only go click or not click. So I may lower my opacity to help with that. Strength is here. Just do like 2. Yeah, okay. I can slowly build it up. It's not great. I really need my tablet. But you can kind of see what I'm doing, right? Try to make an eye. And then I'll try to do like eyelids around it. And if it looks shit, just kind of smooth it. And if you want to do like little eyelids, you can always do the pinch thing and pinch it. So it kind of pulls them together to make it cleaner. See? This would be so much easier if I had a tablet, but okay. That's fine. It'll just be crap. It's fine. So you can kind of see, like, obviously I can spend a lot more time to make that look nicer. Sculpt. And then one thing to do is always, why is it not moving through that? Is always add kind of like little wrinkles and stuff as well. So like carve in little wrinkles, and that just helps to sell it a lot, especially around eyes. Now it will take pressure sensitivity, so you can do with a tablet, you can make it so like it starts big and trails off small really nicely. I can't do it that well because I'm using a mouse, but it's a good way to kind of Smooth it in, and just kind of building it up slowly and slowly until it looks like an actual eye. It takes a long time, and learning what to do takes a long time as well. But like, you'll get it at some point. So. Alright, so that is at that layer. Now let's say I'm like, oh shit, I want to go back down to this lower layer because I want to fix like its nose. I want to give it like a bigger nose or something. I can. That's is it page down? Is it? I don't have a page down on this. Nice. Okay. I don't have page down, but you can also do it your step level up and step level down. So you go step level down, level 2, step level down. You see I can't work on either of these because that was at level 3 and this is at level 0. So level down, level 1, step level down. And I'm on 0. And now when I'm on 0, I can go like, it's always good to work from the basic shapes and only add details later. So make sure when you're level 0, you get the rough silhouette of the entire model perfect. Then every time you go up a little bit level, you add a little more detail. You go up a little bit level, you add a little more detail. You should not be adding little wrinkles and stuff like that until all the way to the end. Like as in, if you're making a face, for example, level 0, that's the jawline shape, the head shape, like a little bit of a push in. You don't even do eyes, you're just gonna like push it in a little bit. The nose shape, and then you go up a little bit, and then you start carving in the eyes, and then start like making the ears the right shape. So you're always adding detail step by step, all right? You always start with the basic. That's always my problem, and a lot of people's problem, is they go to detail too fast, and you're making like this beautiful eye on a head that looks like a box. So it's really dumb. So you need to be careful about that. So, oh, I'm on this layer. Let's say I want to move this. I'm gonna like, what am I doing? So let's say I want the nose to be like that. For the crack. So I'll need to do that at the lower levels because at this lower level I have way less polygons to deal with, so it's a lot easier for me to screw around. And if I go back up to, oh my god, where's my page up? I have to have a page up on this. Oh, I do have a page up. Yeah. So if I had gone up to this level, I can still do it here. I can still grab the stuff here, but it's just usually it's a little harder. Cool. So whatever I do on each layer stays on that layer. Okay, so that's gone now, except for whatever I did on that layer. And that's pretty much how you would sculpt stuff to fit what you wanted it to be. So you start with a base model, you sculpt it, you add more subdivision levels, sculpt it to your shape. When we're finished, we do something called retopology to bring it back down to a low poly model. Okay, we have some time, so you have two options. Either you can try this for yourself, or I can show you the whole retopology process. We can also save it for next week. We can also take 5.